Welcome, welcome. This is the debrief, round 15 of Dutch Grand Prix. I want to thank everybody for joining us this evening. Okay, it's my camera mic. I just got a message. I've got to change my microphone. There we go. How can I change that? There you go.
Yo, that should be a little bit better. There you go. So, my microphone should be a little bit better, hopefully. So, this is the debrief. We're going to talk about what happened over the weekend regarding the Dutch Grand Prix. It's episode 61, of the debrief. And we're going to talk about what happened over the weekend regarding the Dutch GP round 15. So, I'm going to bring in my coach, my partner in crime, Mr. TOTO. Is it a bit better now, Toto, yeah?
Yeah, it's way better. It's way better.
Big up to you, Toto. Thanks for private messaging me about my dodgy microphone. So, Toto, how's it going, bro?
Oh, it's going well. It's going well. Had a lot of sleep.
Yeah. After that transfer rubbish, didn't it?
Yeah. Finally, that's over and all that saga and all that. But
yeah, I know. Jesus.
But yeah.
But it's not over, though, is it?
I know. It's never over, is it?
People are still talking about it on Twitter.
Yeah. You get there.
I know this is nothing to do with F1, right? I know it's nothing to do with F1. I just had to get this out. Let me just show you this out. It's nothing to do with F1. I know it's nothing to do with F1, but I just have to get it out because loads of people are tweeting stuff, right? So I'm just going to bring this up on the screen briefly. Nothing to do with F1. I just want to bring it up, okay? Because it's just so silly, okay? So we got people criticizing Isaac, okay? And stupid tweets. This is all over. I'm just going to pick one out. The tweet says, whatever Alexander Isak goes on to achieve in his career, he will always be remembered for the way he acted this summer. His behavior was permanently destroyed his reputation of football. I quoted tweet back and I said, disagree. He will go on to be a Liverpool legend, which is more significant than a Newcastle one. Facts. If he would have stayed at Newcastle, he would always be remembered as a guy who only won one trophy at a small club. The Newcastle fans might be bitter, but the rest of us just don't care. That's what I said.
I credit for him for doing all that because
nobody cares about Newcastle.
I credit for Isak for doing that because he stood his ground. You know, that's just the main part about it.
And the way the media controlled him as well.
Look at Guehi. He didn't stand his ground, and look what happened. He got walked over.
Wiz is a hero, and he done the same thing.
Yeah,
he's a
he
hero
stood his ground.
To Newcastle fans. No, but he's a hero to the Newcastle fans.
Oh yeah,
and he done the same thing. What thing he done?
Yeah.
Anyway, let's move on to round 15. It was a brilliant weekend, to be fair. Ferrari looked like Charles Leclerc was on his barbecue. His car broke up. He was there on his barbecue. I think the people were looking for him. What's he doing in the middle of the track? Nobody was picking up Charles Leclerc. Charles Leclerc was just sitting there. What's going on there, bro? Did you see Charles during the race? What was he doing, bro?
Yeah.
He looked like he was going to make a barbecue up or something, innit? Just sitting there, man. No, what's going on with the Dutch GP people, man? Why weren't no one picking
Lewis
him
got
up,
out there quick.
Lewis is clever. He probably ran back.
Yeah, probably.
You know what I mean?
He was on the other side of the track, and then
he's not really liked over there, is he?
He was near the paddock, so
yeah,
probably. Yeah, Lewis got there quicker, probably because of that.
It's crazy, man. It was a good weekend, though. I got to admit, right? The practice was a bit dodgy, you know. We all knew going into the weekend that the McLaren were the favourites, but Lando Norris getting that flipping DNF, man. What a shame. That could just, you know what? A lot of people are saying that the championship's over. I disagree because I think there's like 8 races to go. Anything can happen in 8 races. Piastri could get DNF. Piastri could get 4th. Lando could win most of the races. It's still a lot of points to up for grabs. I don't think it's over yet. I think there's only like 30 points between them.
The reason why people are saying all that about Piastri because Piastri's been consistent most of the time all season.
Yeah, but a DNF could hit anyone.
I know, exactly. It's like the championship's not over, for Eddie.
No, I don't think he's either.
But there's a reason why people are saying it's over because if you think about all season, Piastri's been the most consistent one throughout the whole season. You know, consistency wins you titles. You win your races, right?
Yeah.
It's all right doing it on one lap, but you got to do it for, say, if you've got a 15-minute race, say 30 laps, right?
Yeah.
You got to do that all 30 laps of consistent time. Like, you got karting, for example, you put up a 46 or 45, you got to do a 45 consistently every single lap, right? To even stay in the top 3.
Yeah.
So look, it's hard, but Piastri's been doing that really, really well throughout the whole season. Lando's been up and down, I'll say, compared to Piastri. You know, getting 2 DNS in the season. Of course, DNS sometimes not his fault. Yeah, if it's an engine blow, you can't control that. But compared to Piastri's performances, he's very inconsistent compared to Piastri. He had 2 DNS, and plus sometimes he can bottle his start, finish 3rd or 4th, right? Piastri, even though Lando's winning, say if Lando wins the race, Piastri's always 2nd, right? So he's always there in the top 2. I haven't seen Piastri finish outside the top 2 this season. I don't know when, right? I don't know what race that you can name it or whatever.
I think he might have, maybe.
But Piastri's been in the top 2 every single race consistently, and this is why he has been building up the points. Every time Lando finishes 3rd, he wins. Yeah, or if Lando finishes 2nd, he wins.
Yeah,
Lando's been struggling for that lack of consistency all season.
Yeah.
Now the gap is like 35 points. I think it's like 35 points.
I still think there's time to go.
The driver's title. Look, Formula 1, anything can happen, right? But in my opinion, all Piastri has to do.
There's 9 races to go, bro.
I know, but all Piastri really has to do is finish, of course, ahead of his teammate.
Yeah.
Or if Lando finishes 1st, Piastri can just finish 2nd consistently, right? Again, that gap will close, but it depends on Lando's side. It can still turn around. All Lando has to do now is be consistent with winning or finishing 2nd or whatever, right? But he has to focus on finishing ahead of his teammate. Because if he don't finish ahead of his teammate, I know it's pretty obvious what I'm saying, yeah? If we don't finish ahead of his teammate, he's going to lose it.
Yeah.
Right? So these races coming up, Lando has to win. He has to win those races. He can't afford 3rd. He can't afford 2nd. No. Well, he can afford 2nd, depending where Piastri finishes, right? But if he finishes 2nd, Piastri finishes 3rd, right?
Yeah.
Lando can't afford that. He needs 25 points.
I know.
He needs them 25 points. So I don't know if there's any sprint weekends coming up now.
I think there is. I think there's about 3 left.
Yeah, so the sprint weekends can do a lot towards the championship.
8 points the Italian.
8 points, 7 points here and there. Every point counts in Formula 1, right? What I'm saying is Piastri is the most consistent, more consistent compared to Lando. Of course,
yeah, but Lando has been picking up lately, yeah. And I know what you're saying about Oscar Piastri is more consistent, which I totally agree. He's more calmer. He's definitely got a more calmer head. He's for me, he's definitely got the better starts out of the 2. You know, out of the 2 drivers, which is very significant when it comes to winning the championship. That definitely plays a role in the championship when you got a better start than your teammate. Yeah. Because Lando, his starts are not that good, isn't it? But I know what you're saying. I know, obviously, well, the next few races coming up now. I think there's 8 races left, 7, 8 races. And I know, obviously, Oscar Piastri is a clear favourite now. But I'm not going to write off Lando Norris. I still think there's something there. There's still some twists and turns in his championship. Oscar could get, finish 5th or 6th. Something could happen. He could have a bad pit stop. He could come into the pit stop and get a delay of 8 seconds and then come 7th or 8th. And that'll bring Lando right back into the championship. You know what it's like. You're a driver. You know how it's like, Toto. You know when the race it comes right, it's never, look at Abu Dhabi 2021. Everybody thought Lewis won the race, in my opinion. Everybody knows Lewis won that race, and he's an 8-time world champion, in my opinion. And for most people, because they actually admitted, he said it was a human error. But in Formula 1, anything can happen. Lando Norris could go into the championship the last day of Abu Dhabi with 15 points behind Oscar Piastri, and all of a sudden, Oscar Piastri could have a DNF just like that, and it's game over. Lando wins the title. There's no way I'm looking at there with 30 points between them saying it's over with 8 or 9 races to go. No way. There's still points. I'm a Lando fan. I want Lando to win the championship. I'm not going to come out and sugarcoat anything. I just don't think it's over yet. I know what you're saying. Obviously, the advantage is with Oscar Piastri, but that's it, really. He's got the advantage, but that doesn't mean he's won it yet. It's still races to go, man. But anyway, let's move on to the Dutch Grand Prix weekend. Bit of practice. Lando Norris was clocked up the fastest time during practice. So basically, Lando Norris clocked up the fastest time than last year's qualifying. So this is during practice. So we knew by practice time, that McLaren were the favourite. So what was your thoughts of Lando Norris getting the fastest time in practice than last year's qualifying? So you knew the McLarens were up for it.
I think Lando was really pushing it, but McLaren as a whole, top 2 or 3 practice sessions.
Yeah.
The top the practice, the top the quali, and the top the race. It's a record since I think 1988 for McLaren for topping all three weekends, right? And we all know coming into this weekend, most of the other weekends, McLaren always been fast, right? They've always been like the top team, and we all knew they were going to be dominant again this weekend, right? McLaren's been dominant all weekend. It's like when Lewis Hamilton and Nico Rosberg were battling with each other, no one was by them. It's similar to that because let's face it, who actually challenges the McLarens? If the McLarens are in a battle, it's 99.9% of the time.
The only one that really gets close to him, really, the only 2 drivers that close to him is Max Verstappen and Charles.
Yeah.
They're the only ones that get
it's inevitable. It's inevitable if you see a McLaren behind you, it's inevitable what's going to happen.
Yeah.
Right, even
writing's on the wall, isn't it?
McLaren's just going to boom past you in the straight.
Yeah.
Unless it's Monaco, right? I don't see any chance. But regarding all that, McLaren had an excellent weekend. Plus, excellent practice sessions.
Plus Lewis was doing good in practice as well.
Lewis was doing
He
well.
got the second fastest team, so going into the qualifying, it was looking positive for Lewis. So let's go into Q1. Lance Stroll onto the gravel straight away. Just a complete loser, in my opinion. I don't care what anyone says. This guy, why is this guy in Formula One? Why is he in Formula One? Why? Why don't he just move over and get someone else to come in? Maybe you know, take his spot.
Well, at the end of the day, he's there.
Pull you up and go for a practice session.
He's there because, of course, he's dad.
He's just a loser, though.
He hasn't got it.
I'll say it straight. He's a loser. All right, he might be rich and all that. He's got the money because of daddy, but he's just a straight out loser.
At the end of the day, right? When he was at Williams, I thought he was a good driver. When he was at Williams, but that's when he had it in him.
He had it in him. He ain't got it in him now, though.
Now you can see in the press conferences or the interviews, you just don't want to be there.
No,
don't want to be there at all. So he's wasting a spot for someone else coming up.
Yeah, and what's going to happen? He'll leave Formula One, and then what will happen after that? After he leaves Formula One, he'll end up with what do you call it again? With probably owning the team with his dad. His dad will probably pass it on to him, and he'll probably mess that up as well. But it is what it is. Look. So the qualifying started. Lance Stroll was out. Hamilton just clocked in a good lap in second place in Q1, so it was looking good for Hamilton. 7 minutes to go. Lewis Hamilton aboards a lap and goes onto the gravel in turn 11. So Lewis Hamilton still struggling with the car in certain parts of the track. In turn 11, kind of struggling in there. Still can't get hold of that. Still can't get used to that Ferrari car. With the handling, it's just is what it is. I just can't. What they should do with this car, Ferrari, at the end of the season, go out in the middle of the ocean, put a bomb to it, a grenade, and blow it up, and forget about this season ever happened. This season has been a complete and utter disaster for Ferrari. This was the season where they were supposed to get their crap together and try and win a world title, all in, and it just doesn't. It hasn't worked out, and it's a shame. It's a shame for the 2 Ferrari boys because I like Lewis and I also like Charles Leclerc as well, and it just hasn't worked out for Ferrari. Hopefully next year, when the new regulations kick in, when it goes back to straight engine power, that Ferrari can kick on. So Q2, Norris tops the first tops Q2, and Piastri comes second. So Staffen come third, Lewis comes fourth, and Charles comes fifth. So the usual suspects. You can see now by Q2, McLaren inserting their authority. And I think Lewis was doing good because he come third. No, he come fourth, but he was on used tyres. So it was looking positive for Ferrari at this point. So we're going into Max was complaining also about Lando supposed to get in Max's way. So Max doing the typical moaning on the radio because he can't get his own way, saying that Lando got in his way, which he didn't. And that's it, really. And at the end of Q2, it was Norris top, Piastri second, Verstappen third, Hamilton fourth, and Leclerc fifth. So the usual suspects. No Russell. I was surprised about Russell. I thought Russell would have done good here. But But yeah, we'll move on. So Q3, first running, Piastri hitting the best middle sector. So here we go. This is Piastri putting his foot down on the pedal. He's been behind Lando Norris all weekend during the qualifying session, but in Q3, he starts his certain authority, gets the fastest middle sector, and that was enough for him to go faster than his teammate. So at the end of Q3, Piastri first, Norris 2, and Verstappen 3, 4th Russell and Hamilton 5th. So again, Ferrari looking good by these points, but McLaren obviously the clear favourites. So, what was your thoughts on qualifying, and what was your thoughts on Ferrari getting in there and Piastri?
I thought Ferrari had of course, if you take away the race, had a decent weekend.
Yeah,
regarding the practice and qualifying.
Yeah,
and it was a bit surprising, since you see the previous weekends, I haven't really been that well. But this weekend regarding practice and quality was really good. Lewis Hamilton seems to be running it close to Leclerc this weekend in the qualifying as well, and I thought they're going to have a decent race, but the race always shakes things up. But my thoughts on qualifying, we all know that McLarens are going to battle out of each other. It's every single race now that the cars always run it close to each other. Lando, Piastri, it's either Piastri or Lando, right? Lando usually has a decent qualifying, but I think they're both as good as each other, in my opinion. I think regarding the qualifying pace, maybe the race pace switches more into Piastri's hand. But again, that's still debatable as well.
Yeah. I think the edge. I think we're qualifying lately. The edge has probably gone to Lando, maybe lately. But when it comes to the race, I don't know. He's close. It is close, to be fair. So let's go into the race day. As soon as it started, yellow card infringement warning for Lewis Hamilton for not lifting out of the pits. What was your thoughts on that, Toto Hammer? You knew that the penalty was coming.
Yeah, we all know. Like they always say, "Oh, we'll talk about it after the race," which I still don't get about that. Really, I think they should just do it there, so he avoids the stress on the driver. The driver could have an amazing race, all happy, and then they get hit with a penalty. But I don't even think is that a 5-place group penalty for next race. It's probably for next race.
Basically, I was about to get into that. I'm going to tell you now.
Yeah.
Basically, they said during the race that we're gonna talk about it after the race. We knew that penalty was coming. If they know the penalty is coming, just give him the penalty at the beginning so he knows what he's up against. Is stop messing around and say, "Oh, it's going to be after the race." But after the race, he said this was a statement from F1. Lewis Hamilton, Ferrari driver, hit with a grid penalty for the Italian Grand Prix. So the next Grand Prix this week will be in Monza, and he's going to hit with a 5-plate. I think it's a 5-place grid penalty. Lewis Hamilton's horrible Dutch Grand Prix got worse after the race, after he was hit with a grid penalty for the next race in Monza. So he got a rate. Lewis Hamilton has been 5-place grid penalty for the next weekend Italian Grand Prix after failed to slow down for the yellow flags on the way to the grid. So on the way to the grid, they said he was going too fast, and the yellow flags came out, and he didn't slow down. So basically, he's getting a 5-place grid penalty. I don't think he cares. But it's a shame, though, because you know why? It's Monza. This is the one that he's waiting for. He said, I can't wait to be a Ferrari driver at Monza. But Monza, he can overtake. So I don't think he's that worried about it. I don't think. If he can get in the top 4 of qualifying, he gets a 5-place grid penalty. Monza, you can overtake. You get me? You can overtake in Monza. So I don't think he's going to be that worried. What's your thoughts on it? I don't think he's going to be worried, to be fair. I don't think he cares. Toto?
Who?
Now I'm about Lewis. Lewis is hit with a 5-place grid penalty. Yeah. Right, he's going to go to Monza. If he can get in the top 5 of qualifying, he'll get a 5-place grid penalty. But he's going to Monza. I know Monza was the track that he couldn't wait to drive, being a Ferrari driver. But for Monza, you can overtake.
Yeah, it's true. Yeah, Lewis. You all know, he's decent on Monza. Lewis Hamilton is. He always does good here. I mean, like the 5-place grid penalties. Look, it's not a track where it's very, very tight. It's a very, very wide open track. Monza is usually the most easiest track to master. It's like an easy track because it's just straight corner, maybe a chicane here and there. If anyone's, say, like sim racing, for an example, anyone's starting a sim racing, Monza's always a good track to start off, and it's because it's got a lot of overtaking opportunities. It's got the main straight. It's got the dive bomb into turn 1, the big straight before turn 1. Of course, you've got that fast bend as well, where you can go 2 wide or 3 wide. Yeah. It's very, very so much width of that track you can overtake, and of course the one before the double double chicane, I think it is,
Yeah.
where you, down
Yeah.
that straight and it's like a sweep, a double sweeper. So there's a lot of overtaking opportunities. Lewis Hamilton should take advantage of that. I'm sure he will, but he needs to get a good qualifying. He needs to at least make it to Q3, because if he's so far behind the grid, it can be a bit hard for him, right? Because most of the midfield get into tight battles during the race. But if he can get into Q3 and maybe get 5th or 4th, and then slap that 5-place grid penalty, he'll still be in the top 10.
I think Lewis Hamilton, I'm telling you now, I'm going to tell it now. We're going to talk about it more on the Flaming Tarmac on Thursday. And I'm going to tell you right now, yeah, you know Lewis Hamilton, yeah? Lewis Hamilton, he's going to be good at Monza. I'm telling you now, he's going to be good at Monza. You know how the Ferrari car, every single year, they set up that Ferrari car for Monza. Look at all the history of Monza the last 10 years. Ferrari always do good at Monza. It don't matter if the car's in the toilet, which it has been over the previous years. When it comes to Monza, they make it's their business to make sure the car is pure down, pure straight for the Monza. Telling you now, I don't care if it gets a 5-place grid penalty. Just say Lewis Hamilton gets 4th in qualifying, which is he could do. You could have two McLarens, Max Verstappen, and then the rest is open season. Anyone can get that 4th place. So if Lewis gets 4th or 5th, gets a 5-place grid penalty, he overtakes 2 or 3 cars in the first lap, gets settled, he can be up there. He can do it.
Yeah,
I'm telling you now, he can do it because he wants to do good at Monza. He always said when he first signed for Ferrari, he wants to do good at Monza. He wants to see the Tifosi, and I think he can do it. Let's move on. We're spending too much time on this Lewis Hamilton thing. Anyway, so most of the grid was on the yellow. Most of the grid was on the medium tyres. Max Verstappen, Tsunoda, Colapinto, Gasly was all on the soft tyres. So obviously, they was going for the aggressive strategy. So it was a good start for Moscow. Lights out the way we go. Norris losing places against Max Verstappen. So again, we talked about it earlier. Norris has to get his starts better. Max just holding on to the car, going wide in the first sector. He nearly went onto the gravel, to be fair, but he held onto the car. Lap 9, Lando passes Max easy. So even though Max passed, Norris at the beginning, I always knew that Norris would catch him up and pass him anyway with the pace he's got him with the car. We all know this. So that was lap 9. He passes Max. Lando Norris 2.5 seconds in front of Max Verstappen after 2 laps. So after 2 laps of passing Max Verstappen, Lando Norris was 2.5 seconds in front of Max Verstappen. What was your thoughts by this time when he passed Max? Passed Max at 9, and by 2 laps, he was 2.5 seconds ahead. What was your thoughts on that?
You can see that McLaren's pace compared to Red Bull's, it's superior, and you can see why Verstappen gave up the title long time ago, and
4 races ago,
and that Red Bull car is completely diminishing pace. If you compare a couple of years ago to now, completely different. I
think the Red Bull car stayed the same. It's the fact that McLaren just got faster,
and I think another fact is Adrian Newey leaving as well.
Exactly. Yeah,
because you all know how downforce is important in this era of Formula One. This last year of era of Formula One,
can't wait till it's finished.
Downforce aerodynamics is very, very important.
About the floor, innit?
And Adrian Newey is probably one of the best at that, if not the best at that. So,
well, he did. He did go to university to study ground effect. It's got feces in it, so
exactly.
Knew what he was doing there. You know what I mean? Yeah, let's move on. So anyway, lap 13, the track was started to get slippery. The engineers were on the radio talking about there might be rain. So that was they said rain in 50 seconds. We didn't really see any rain. Not really. It was all talk. Lap 19, Aston Martin picks Alonso. I thought this was a dumb move by Aston Martin, bringing in Alonso so early. They brought him in, put the I think it was the hard tires, and not long after it started to rain a little bit. So that never made no sense for me. They compromised Alonso's race by bringing him too early. If they knew that the rain was coming, why bring him in and put the hard tires on? This didn't make sense. Tsunoda lap 20 he pitted as well, so people started to pit now after Aston Martin. Lap 23, Lewis crashes into the side. I actually saw this. It was on the bend, that bend on the Dutch Grand Prix where it's just a slow bend. What happened? He came over to the side and there was like rubber on the outside, and it was slightly wet because it did start to rain a little bit, yeah. So when he went around that corner, his front tire, right? No, his back tire, no, his front tire hit the rubber, and the car just slipped. I said that could have happened to anybody. It was a shame. I don't think Lewis knew there was rain there. I think his engineer or the guys on the radio should have checked their data to see that it was wet, because they did not tell Lewis that it was wet in that section of the track, which they should have. If they did, we never heard it. We never heard it. Now, if that was Mercedes, Bono would have said to him, be careful around that turn. It's wet there. There was nothing from Lewis's radio. Nothing that I heard. So Lewis went around that corner. As soon as his tyre went onto the rubber, his car just went zip, slipped. So he crashed. It was very slow as well, Toto. Toto, it was very slow. He weren't going fast or nothing, you know. He was going slow.
And about the Lewis thing now.
Yeah, as soon as Lewis hit that side, his car just went boom, gone.
The thing is, when you're in that situation, understeer kicks in, because you'd never want to be too far around the outside.
Yeah.
Again, some drivers can get caught out there.
Something about that engineer, Lewis, is just something not right.
It's because when you're on the outside was the fastest line going through there. Because usually the normal racing line, you go outside, then you go in. But not every corner's like that. You got to judge the corner. It's a technical circuit. It is a technical circuit, because you go around the outside and it sets you up for the next corner as well. And the outside is usually the fastest way around the track, right? For the bank corner, the outside was the fastest way because it's more higher. But when you go more dip, it kind of slows down your car a bit, and then you're too tight towards the apex. When usually you can just go around the outside and just fly it through. That's the best for like a bank corner. And what Lewis did wrong there is when he went too far around the outside, because it was a wet line there, because it was getting a bit wet and it was a wet line there. And as soon as he went too far around the outside, understeer started to kick in, so he had a lack of rotation, and that's what allowed him to go into the wall, right? And there's his race was over. Now, if we do a bit more to the middle, still ran the outside, but a bit, because he was over the white line. And when you go over the white line on the outside, understeer kicks in, especially in the wet, right? Understeer kicks in, the lack of rotation, it allows you to go into the wall, and you're not really in control of your car. It doesn't matter how many times you turn. If as soon as you got understeer, right, it's over. Yeah. If you got oversteer, then you're over rotating.
Yeah.
Which again, you can still rotate your car, but you're over rotating.
Exactly. Yeah.
But with understeer, you have to get your rotation in early. You have to, because if you got if you got a kart, for an example, with understeering, you've got to use more rotation. Yeah. Because because with normal, say if you're in a kart or whatever, you keep your wheels straight as possible. That's what you kind of have to do and keep it smooth. But if you got an understeer car or a kart or whatever, you got to use more rotation. And
so what was your
Lewis Hamilton had an understeer, and that's why he went off.
Yeah, but obviously, but he slipped because it was wet. There was rubber on the outside, rubber on the outside.
Yeah.
Don't you think his engineer should have informed him that it was wet in that section, because he could clearly see it?
Yeah, usually engineers say, look, it's raining turn one.
Be wary, because he relies on their feedback.
Yeah.
This is what I'm saying to you. So if that was Mercedes, I think Mercedes would have, it would have been a different matter. But it is what it is. Look, let's move on to the next one. I just think it was they could have done better. So Max, so everybody started stacking, double stack by the McLarens. There was a slight delay, but it was under the safety car, so not really much of a loss. Max came in, put the medium tires. Cruz saying it's good by Max. I totally disagree putting on the medium tires, which would have never made sense. Because when Max Staffen came in for the medium tires, it was obviously he would have to pit again. But Carew, the biggest cheerleader for Max Staffen, he's going to say what he's going to say, and nobody cares what he says. So, lap 28, race resumes. Carew praying for the gods that Max wins the race, which was kind of hilarious at this point. Why is that, guys? I'm not even going to go there. So, lap 32, Trolls passes George in turn 11. Trolls said on the radio, he was saying, I didn't really understand what he was saying. He was kind of talking to his engine in the radio. Trolls preempt on the radio, all four wheels off the track. He knows George will complain. So basically, he was complaining about George, that all wheels were off the track. No, basically, he passed George. Trolls passed George, and it looked like all his four wheels were off the track, which it wasn't. And he came on the radio and says, I know what George is going to say. He's going to say all my wheels are off the track. George went on the radio and said, all his wheels are off the track, and the guy said no, it was fine. So that was funny. Lap 54, there was a crash on the track. Kimi crashes into Charles, which he kind of understood. It was not far off where Lewis crashed in a similar part of the track. Kimi kind of passed him, tried to pass him on the inside, and while Charles was on the outside, and he kind of slipped, went into Charles and took Charles out. So what was your thoughts on this when Kimi Antonelli took out Charles Leclerc? And then Charles Leclerc set up a barbecue and had some sausages.
It was all Antonelli's fault.
Yeah.
Yeah. He was too tight. He didn't give Leclerc enough space. He kind of forced him off to the outside, which we all know in Formula One racing, you got to leave a car's width. And even Antonelli said in the interview that, look, it was all my fault. I misjudged the corner. And yeah, he admitted it. And look, the guy's in his rookie year and he's still got a lot to learn in Formula One. Right, at the end of the day, that was all his fault. He forced Leclerc out. He was too tight to him. And yeah, there's wheel-to-wheel racing, but you still got to leave a car's width from going into a corner. And he simply didn't do that. He pushed Leclerc off. And yeah, that's what. Did he get a penalty for that? Or not?
No, I don't think he got a penalty, I don't think I had nothing. There was nothing on the website.
Yeah, there's two sides to this. You can get like a penalty or just a normal racing incident. I think it went down as a racing incident, didn't it? So in my opinion, I thought Antonelli should have got the penalty because he forced Leclerc out. But on the other hand, it was a kind of a wet circuit. But still, it was all Antonelli's fault. He shouldn't have went that tight to Leclerc. But at the end of the day, it's racing and it's racing. Things happen. So yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if just a normal racing incident.
Yeah. But Charles got took out of the race. His race was over. So that was 2 double DNFs for the Ferraris. Horrible weekend. They got to rectify that in Monza. Yeah, he's kind of bad. And again, Charles Leclerc was sitting there for the entire race. Had his barbecue, setting up his barbecue, having sausages. Because nobody was picking him up. He was there for the entire race. Just sitting there. So Charles, so basically lap 54. Lap 54 safety car, so lap 57 safety car ending. 2 McLarens was on the hard tires, Max was on the soft tires, which I thought was a mistake. Carew was throwing a party, thought that Max could pass the 2 McLarens because he had the soft tires, and I was just thinking you're delusional. Lap 59, Kimi Antonelli was investigated under that pit lane. Lando. I forgot what lap it was, but Lando was out of the race. His car suddenly broke down. There was smoke coming out the back of it. Said to his engineer, "What's going on? My car's done." Safety car come out. And after that, Hadjar took the 3rd place. And he went into 3rd place, hopefully, probably, and he got the podium. Big up to Hadjar, which I'm going to talk about in a minute. But what do you think of this? Like, we talked about it at the beginning of the podcast, but Lando Norris out of the race.
Look, it's a shame. It's a big blow for him. A lot of points lost.
Yeah.
He lost that in 18 points. He could have got the win because he was kind of catching up to Piastri, but in the day, that second was guaranteed. And that's 18 points lost, and now he's got a 30-point gap to Piastri in the championship with 9 races to go. It's not over yet. Nowhere near. But it is a big blow for Lando, and his attitude and his mental, because we all know racing's a mental game. Yeah? If you're mentally not correct up there, you're not winning nothing. Right? Lando, he's got to keep his head on a swivel. He's got to keep his head straight. Because if he don't, it's gonna cost him, right? And he's got to focus on getting consistent finishes, consistent second, first, especially if he needs to start winning races now.
Dynamic mode, because I can hear the background. Go on.
Yeah. But look, in my opinion, the only way Lando's going to come back from this DNF, right? Yeah. It's similar to the Lewis Hamilton DNF at Malaysia, when they were challenging Rosberg for the title, right? But the only way he's going to do this now is keep his head straight, have a good mentality, and he's just got to start being more consistent.
Yeah. I'll take it. So he's what he's look. Hadjar got the 3rd place. Happy for him. For me, I've said it for the beginning of the season. I've said it at the beginning of the season. I thought Hadjar is he's the rookie of the year. I said this from the beginning. I said it when everybody was saying it's going to be Kimi Antonelli. I know Kimi Antonelli had the PR behind him, but for me, Hadjar was always been a better driver. Because Kimi Antonelli's at Mercedes and he's got the PR behind him, that doesn't make him a better driver. For me, Hadjar was always been the better driver. I've called it from the second or third race in. I think he called it the other day as well. With Jack Villeneuve. I've called it from the beginning. He's the best rookie out of the lot. I said it. I think it was the second or third race in. I said it. That Hadjar is the best rookie. Like I said, I'm repeating myself. And no, but I know he hasn't got the PR like Kimi Antonelli. I know he hasn't got the better team like Kimi Antonelli. Because Kimi Antonelli's got in Mercedes, that doesn't mean he's a better driver. Hadjar is the better driver, and that's why he's the favourite now to become Red Bull's new driver alongside Max Verstappen. He's the favourite, and I saw the potential in him, the way he used to out-qualify his team as well. I said, this kid is good. Imagine if he was in a better car. You get me? He didn't have the PR around him. And I'm glad he didn't have the PR around him. Sometimes it's good not to have the PR around him. I think the PR around Kimi Antonelli has been absolutely huge. It's been massive.
Yeah.
And I don't think he can handle it at this point of his career. I think I agree with what Jack Villeneuve said. I think Kimi Antonelli should have went into a smaller team, like Williams, and learned his craft more in Formula One. And I think they should have kept on to Lewis a couple more years. And that's what they should have done, but they never. They said, right, we're going to do this, we're going to do that, we're going to get rid of Lewis. And I think it was a mistake by Mercedes, in my opinion. So what's your thoughts on Hadjar getting the first place?
Credit to him. Doing it in the RB as well. Again, RB's been a decent car, but we can't take that away from him. Like Hadjar, done it from start to finish. Again, I agree with you. I think he's the best out of the rookies. I think Hadjar's a lot to prove in Formula One. He proves in his first season that he's good enough.
Yeah.
So once you've done that, right, all he's got to do is work on his craft. And the guy's only a young man. He's a rookie in Formula One. He's still got a lot of years left. He's definitely a one to watch for the future for challenging for the championship for sure. For sure, Hadjar is. But yeah, what can I say? He's absolutely amazing. Third place for the rookie in the RB car. It's great for the team. It's great for him as well for his attitude. But yeah, he's always been good all season. Isaac Hadjar
I've rated him from the beginning.
And yeah, credit to him in it. He got third and first podium of Formula One as well.
Yeah, big up. So that's how it finished. Piastri first, to people listening to the audio podcast. I forgot about you, the audio podcast, the iTunes, Spotify. Piastri first, second, Max Verstappen, third, Hadjar, fourth, Russell, fifth, Albon, sixth, Antonelli, seventh, BMN, eighth place, Stroll, ninth place. BMN's a good driver as well. Eighth place, Stroll, ninth place, Alonso, 10th place, Tsunoda, 11th place, Ocon, 12th place, Colapinto, 13th place, Lawson, 14th place, Sainz, 15th place, Nico Hülkenberg, 16th place, Gasly, 17th place, Bortello, 18th, DNS were Norris, Leclerc, and Hamilton. So there you go. So that's the end of the review for round 15. I think it's episode 16 of the debrief. Episode 61, of the debrief. So Toto, anything you want to say before we head off?
I'll say it's been a great weekend, chaotic, I'll say. Shame for Ferrari getting the DNF, the double DNF, which is hampered their, morale in the garage.
Yeah.
But look, a lot of races to go. We've got to enjoy Formula One while it lasts for this year. 9 races. I know that sounds like a lot of races still, but it can just go just like that, man. But yeah, it's been a good season.
Oh yeah, how did you get on with your karting? Did you get qualified for the thing?
Yeah, I did get the time. I'm still going for more, so I can make sure, because they take your best lap times from 3 sessions. Yeah. So your top 3 best lap times. They take that into account.
You're gonna put something on your channel?
Yeah, definitely. I've got pictures and videos and that I'll post on my Insta,
TikTok as well.
Yeah, as well. So I'll link all that in the description, because I haven't linked my Insta, so I'll just share out my Insta. I think search for TOTO Hammer 44, and it just should be on there. So go check that out.
So we're gonna head off then. We'll be back soon. We're gonna go do that. the football one in about 5 minutes. But for the Formula One people, listen to the podcast, iTunes. I know I haven't uploaded nothing on there lately, but I've got them all in folders. I'm just going to start doing them bit by bit. I've still got the podcast, so they'll be going on there. Big up to everyone in the debrief. Toto, we still got 2 episodes to do from last week. Yeah, but we'll get to it out later. Yeah. So this is season 3, really, of the podcast. Well, it'll be season 2 now, isn't it? Yeah, season 2, season 1's done. So yeah, big up to everyone, man. Round 15 Dutch Group debrief out of all recorded and wrapped up, and we'll be back. I think next week is Monza, so we'll be back next week with Monza. We'll be back actually on Thursday to talk about Monza, and that's a flaming tarmac. But we're done here. So big up Toto, big up to you, bro. We've got to get a new entrance for the Formula 1, man. This is old entrance, just got my name on there. We're gonna get a new one. I'll do one over the weekend, right? I'm gonna do a nice intro. So big up to you, Toto. Big up to you and your family. Big up to everybody watching us. Remember to like the video. See you later, guys. See you later, Toto. See you in a bit. See you in football. Boom.
Oh, yeah.
You got the last word in. There you go.